Hello and welcome to part two of episode 397 of Scarves Around the Funnel. My name is Mark Donaldson. This is a podcast dedicated to the leaders of the Scottish Premiership, Heart of Midlothian Football Club. Now, we'll never charge for episodes because we don't want money, but we also don't have any money. And now that he's a star of BBC and Sky Sports and whatever, I kind of feel fortunate that Liam Corbett from This Is My Story has agreed to come on for nothing. The only caveat was that his name appears on screen if you're watching this on YouTube as Corbetto Baggio. So I thought, fuck this, I'll be Donaldinho. Hello, Corbetto Baggio.
Hello. I like to stay humble. I like to help the wee guys out still. Never forget your roots on the way
Indeed.
to the top, innit? How you doing?
Well, I'm all right. I'm all right. We are top. We might not be on Sunday. How weird is that going to be? If Rangers beat Dundee United on Saturday, it's kind of a twist to the narrative. Will that change anything from a Hearts perspective?
Think that as a warning to Hearts fans is if they felt the noise after the defeat at Ibrox that we had was noisy, then Saturday into kick off on this Sunday will be fever pitch because I'll say it on repeat and I don't care if people think I'm being bitter or whatever it is. Scottish football wants a title race, but they want the old firm title race. That's what they want. That's what gets the likes, the shares, the clicks, the media attention, etc., etc. So Rangers being top is going to be on the dream list of a lot of our broadcasters and friends in the media, etc., etc. So there's going to be a lot of noise after the game Saturday into Sunday, and it's a different pressure for
Hmm.
us. It's a different challenge for us, but I actually think it's one that's good for us. I think that now that not that the games don't have there's jeopardy attached to all the games, but I think that after the end of the Dundee game, the noise around the players coming back, the fact that they've had a break now and the guys have had the opportunity to get further fitness. I think it's a good thing. It's good pressure for us going into to Sunday. I think it will help us spur us on a little bit to try and start fast and be aggressive and sort of quieten that noise as quickly as we can because it becomes a totally different challenge the longer the game goes at 0-0 and it starts to get edgy and you're knowing that it's the first time since the 27th of September
Yeah,
or somewhere
September. Yeah.
around there that we
Mhm.
that we've not been top. So it's a pressure, but look, we've 7 games left now. It's going to be like this every single week, and it's whoever can handle that pressure is going to be the one that delivers the title. Because I said it after the loss at Kilmarnock, I kind of felt that this is going to go in waves. We played first and put pressure on Rangers and Celtic, and Rangers buckled at Livingston. We played first and won, and then put pressure on Celtic and Rangers, and they drew in the Old Firm. Then Celtic play first and we buckle at Kilmarnock. So again, it's back here that Rangers play first on the Saturday. And then if we could get a win as well on this Sunday, that's huge pressure for Celtic
Mm.
going into that Dundee game. What would be 8 points? 8 points in front. They literally have no wiggle room. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's going to be interesting to see how we handle it.
Celtic also haven't won on Tayside this season, and that's something their fans are well aware of. But we don't want to talk about Celtic. I want to touch upon something you said potentially about the siege mentality. Now, you think about the last managers outside of the old firm that have won the Scottish top flight title, whether it's the Premier League, Premiership, or whatever. Alex Ferguson, Jim McLean, people that don't give a fuck about the outside, people that deliberately use Celtic and Rangers journalists. They don't want us to win. That as a siege mentality. This is an interesting one because we've got Derek McInnes, and for me, he's kind of similar in that mindset, that kind of West of Scotland kind of doesn't matter what they say, just forget and block out the noise. But the interesting thing for me this season, I'm speaking to a couple of pals when I was on recent trips that work at the Sun and the Record and a few of the other tabloids. And I said, how come Hearts haven't got the same as we would normally get? Shanklin's off to Ibrox or X is off to Celtic Park. He goes, because the big bosses and the big wigs at the Daily Record and the Sun, they're not best pals with Derek McInnes, but they're really tight with him. Keith Jackson at the record is tight with McInnes, and a few others are as well. And in a way, that's kind of helped Hearts because it's kept us off the back pages. And as you say, yeah, the West Coast media want a narrative of a title race between Rangers and Celtic. But Hearts have been allowed to kind of go about their business so far without that much of a spotlight. But the Daily Record now, in the last 4 weeks, have decided, you know what, we need a designated Hearts reporter. Sun have already got one. They're slowly starting to take us seriously. It's going to change from now until the end of the season. But so far, it's been all right, has it not?
Yeah, and I think a big thing about it is the fact that we've done a lot of our talking on the park.
Yep.
When you look at the fanfare of Romanoff, etc., etc., he immediately came in on the front foot, aggressive. He started to, yeah, we all know the shenanigans that went on. What was it the monkey nuts or whatever it was in the press office and
Tell me
all that
about
sort
it.
of all that sort of stuff.
Bananas and Mowgli's and
Banana,
monkey nuts and
everything in it. But I think that, like you said, Derek McInnes has been very smart in how he's used the media. He's bitten back a couple of times when he's needed to, but he's allowed questions to come in without getting too prickly about them, and he's batted them away. He's answered them perfectly. But the big thing is that every question that we've been asked from a footballing perspective on the park, we've delivered. Our bounce back ability has been there for everybody to see. We've probably lost more games than actually we probably the teams that we've lost have been disappointing. If you look there, what four of our defeats have come against the four bottom of the league type teams, and
yeah,
if we fail to win on Sunday. So I think that one, it's the way that he's handled the media, it's the way that we've been on the pitch. I think that we've done a lot of our talking on the pitch as well, but also it's the people and the changes in the background at the club as well. As I think everybody knows the Tony Bloom situation. So it's felt different from day one. It hasn't felt like, oh, this is just another, multi-club owner coming in with big plans, big ambitions. This is a guy that's got substance. And I said that right at the start of the season. Tony Bloom has got substance. You just have to look around every club that he's touched and what he does. Jamestown Analytics and Star Lizard has got substance. You just have to look at the teams that they've been involved in and the success that they have. And Derek McInnes has got substance. When you look at what Derek McInnes has done with that Aberdeen side, especially over 8 seasons, where every 6 months he had the spine of his team ripped out and sold, not replaced, but season after season he came back. So I think it's felt different all over from the start of the season about Hearts and the usual Braga to Ibrox in the summer. Well, one, Rangers don't have the upfront money to deal with Hearts because Hearts won't take IOUs after what happened with Lee Wallace. And also the fact that the players that were coming now, you're not going to get two ginger bottles in a half season ticket in the Broomloan or whatever to get Braga. You're going to have real money. So it'll be interesting to see how it develops if we do win the title, because I still think that you watch other podcasts about Scottish football, they know nothing about Hearts. They know
yeah.
literally nothing. You've got them talking about they're going, oh, what's the keeper called? Who's the guy that plays right back? But they can tell you that Mikey Moore's played 940 minutes for Tottenham B and cuts his toenails on a Tuesday and all that, and they can't tell you who Jordi Altena is and where he plays, which I actually think has helped us. It
Hugely.
has helped us. Uh, also, too, like the injury thing. See, when you actually look at the players that we could have available again on Sunday, it's went completely
Full
under the
circle, isn't it?
radar. Yeah, but it's went right under the radar as well. Shanklin's been the headline for ages and ages, but you look at Kingsley could come back, Halkett will be back, we might have Finlay available, Milne's been carrying injury, could be back fit. Benny, if we can get him in the team, Devlin back. Like, there's 7 players that would start in pretty much every team in Scotland. So,
Mm.
be interesting to
Well,
see how it develops.
yeah, Milne a doubt, Finlay a doubt. Whether or not he starts Kingsley, if he is available, having been out for so long. I think Shanklin kind of has to start and see how he is, maybe give him an hour and see what happens, just because he's so integral to the way that Hearts play. We spoke a lot about Livingston with Ryan McGowan. I just want one question to you about Livingston. I'm going to take you to a Fred Perry article, the Bedbees. What is your name? Where are you from? Hi, I'm Liam from the Begbies. We also have Gary, Scott, Callum, Kieran, Sally, and Stephanie. We're from Livingston, Scotland. What do you do? Says Fred Perry. We play ska-inspired indie tracks, or as we like to say, skindy. Describe your style in 3 words: original, raw, and skanking. How should your music be listened to? Loud, beer in hand, getting your skank on. Okay, that was from the Fred Perry article, and then Scott Arfield did a piece in The Sun, which the headline was quite clever when he was at Rangers, the Blue Tones. Rangers new boy Scott Arfield almost quit football to become a rock star with his old band, the Begbies. And I shall be sharing this photo. I'm trying to think who you look like. You're sitting there and you're a little bit worried. Your shadow is kind of ominously all over your head. Your hair's kind of styled to one way. Arfield doesn't look that different. He's got his Clash t-shirt on, but he's your boy and he's in opposition at the
Yeah.
weekend. What has he said about how Livi are? Because Gowser said enough, but couldn't say what he maybe wanted to say on our podcast. You can say what the hell you want. What's Arfield told you? And not about whether or not the Begbies should reform.
Well, they definitely shouldn't reform. And that picture, you can share it everywhere you want, is insane. My haircut is questionable at best. If it isn't any better now, I apologise, but I think it is better than what it was back then. Aye, it's a strange one for them because let's not beat around the bush. They're teetering on the brink. They know that. One win all season. Uh, what are they 12 adrift currently? Playing the league leaders, the most consistent team in the league. I feel that that's why I said at the start, if we can start aggressive on the front foot, create chances, then I think that we'll not spook them, but they're they're in a fragile place.
But they were the
Let's put
last time, Liam, and they went a goal up. And they were
yeah,
against Rangers. They were bottom of the table. They were cast adrift, and they went 2 goals up. And we speak every week about starting quickly. We haven't really done that, and things didn't change in the Dundee game until Shankland came on.
yeah.
So saying start quickly is one thing. We say that every week, but how do we do it?
Shankland's integral, like you said. I think Shankland will start. Whether we get 70 minutes out of
Yep.
him and then bring people on is important. Also, I said this as well about the we've been so good this season because not because of individuals, it's the sum of the parts that have made us where we are right now, and they all complement each other.
You sound like
And
Steve Clark. That's why I'm not calling anybody from Motherwell and Hearts up.
but that's the thing is like Franklin didn't just come on and have an impact individually. He
Hmm.
helps.
Yeah.
Kesaridas it takes, and I've been thinking it, and as we've seen it over the last few weeks, as we've sort of 1-0 victories here and there, but we've never really been fluent. We've never clicked into being our best. And you could kind of feel that pressure of a bit like what Shanklin was like last season, where it felt like he was carrying the piano. He felt like he
Yeah.
was the one, if nothing happened from him. And you're looking at, a Braga is running around thinking, well, if I don't score, is anybody going to score? And Kizaridis is maybe the same. And then Shanklin came on Saturday, and you could kind of feel like, oh, it's not all just me. It's not all just me. And now you can play with a little bit more freedom. So I think that that's going to be massive on Sunday if he starts. I'll be shocked if he doesn't. I'll be honest. I do think he will start. Uh, he occupies not just space but minds as well.
He does.
The back, if Livingston play with a back three or a back four, whatever it is, whoever the two centre halves are, they'll have to worry about not only where is Shankland on the pitch, but where's Braga running, where's Kizaridis dropping in, who's playing in behind them. Is it Spittle? Is it going to be Altena again with the box type thing? So we've got lots of questions we can ask Livingston, and if we score early, I think we've got an opportunity to eat away back into our goal difference. But first and foremost, and I think it's going to be like this all the time, a really boring answer, but we just got to win first. Win first. If we can score goals, great. But if it's another 1-0 win and it's 3 points on the board, then I'm not going to complain.
We've spoken a lot about, excuse me, the 1-0 wins and whatever. Let's take it up a notch. If we do start well, and if we can get a couple of goals up, that could set us up perfectly for Motherwell, a fixture that Joel and I totally forgot about when we were putting our points together on the Hearts standard piece, and we said 79 might win it. Yeah, and we forgot about the Motherwell home game. But if we can have a good performance, right? We've had a few, but a kind of swashbuckling, a Dundee United away, a Kilmarnock first time away, and I want to accentuate the positives here because I really think we've got a chance. As you say, if we can start well, let's not worry about, oh, we haven't done this, we haven't started well. If we start well, if we can get a couple of goals up, maybe the shackles are off a little bit. If we can do that, we can maybe give Shankland the rest for the last half hour. I'm not sure how long he can play, but this could be a massive game for Hearts because it's probably, well, it will be, as far as the fixture is concerned. We're not going to play anybody after this in the bottom six because we've got Motherwell twice and we've got Rangers, we've got Celtic, we've got Hibs, and we've got Falkirk. It's a must win, but if we can win it with a little bit of swagger, what could that do for us in the final six games?
Yeah, and I think that we'd all be 3 points is great. 3 points and a goal difference is perfect, because I think we've all been looking at that goal difference as it's an extra point essentially as you come into the end bit of the season, and that's been eaten away, and it's been eaten away because of, like we've just spoke about there, the fact that we've been winning games, which is important, but you look at the Aberdeen at home, Dundee at home, Falkirk at home, Hibs at home, Livingston at home, where they've been nervy 1-0s, and you're thinking they're games in which Shankland plays. You can bring Kabori off the bench to make an impact. You can maybe drip feed Chesnikoff in or Amato in and be a bit more creative, and you maybe score a two. You might get a free, and we've that's what Rangers have been doing. Rangers haven't been, maybe about the Aberdeen game, haven't been hugely comfortable at home, but the results and scorelines have made it seem similar. So if we can score and get the goal difference back, I think that at this time of the season would be a huge, huge thing. But again, I don't want to be disrespectful to Livingston. They're fighting for their lives. It
Yeah.
is we can't relegate them on Sunday, but whereas not a kick in the arse off of if they lose, they're gone type thing. So they're going to have lots to play for. So first and foremost, we've got to go win the game. But yeah, if we can, the momentum, and I know it sounds mental because Motherwell being obviously really good all season, although their form's dipped right now. I think if we could score some goals against Livingston, Motherwell at home, the way they play, the opportunities that we had the first time at
Yeah.
Tynecastle, again, it's another opportunity. Will there be goals in that match? There could be goals in that match as well. So, uh, yeah, it's if we could get a win first and foremost, and then score some goals, I think that would do wonders for the team.
When Ryan was on earlier this week, he was talking about Marvin Bartley. He's big into analysis of the opposition, trying to identify weaknesses. From a Hearts perspective, he'll have spent the week looking for that. They'll be firing on all cylinders as far as hunger, commitment is concerned. Neil McCann did something similar prior to the Hearts game recently that Kilmarnock win. They won at Rugby Park. What can we have learned from that? What weaknesses can Marvin Bartley find that Hearts can put a sticking plaster on or rectify that so we don't give them the opportunities? And what can we learn from what we didn't do and how we didn't start well at Rugby Park that can help us on Sunday?
I think the big differentiator for us is that Cammy Devlin will be huge in there because we couldn't win a second ball against Kilmarnock. Nothing to do with shape, nothing to do with any of that stuff. It was just if the ball was going up to Kabori and not sticking, Kilmarnock were winning second balls. If they were punting the ball up forward and Halkett or Steinvender or whoever was winning headers, they were winning second balls. So Livingston will be looking to probably do that as much as they possibly can. Take advantage of the plastic as well, overload the midfield. The right hand side is still one of those sides for us that I don't think defensively it can be got at. It's not a huge glaring side of the park that's rubbish. But from an attacking sense, I think that's the bit, is that they'll feel that they can get their opportunities down the right hand side because it will be 2v1 with whoever is playing that right wing back, that right attacking side, because we will stick defensively. There'll probably be McEntee that plays there. So, he's not going to overlap and get to the byline, etc., etc. So they'll probably look to try and exploit and play in there. And the other thing I always say about, and McInnes was good at this at Kilmarnock, and it's one of the things about when you play on plastic pitches, is if you can turn defenders and get the ball over the top and make them face their own goal, running back, ball bouncing all over the place. They're not going to try and take touches on that pitch. So you're going to get set plays, you're going to get corners, you're going to get throw-ins. So they probably look to go long. I think they play Richie Muirhead plays up front for them 9 times out of 10, so they may be a bit more direct. I think they've got a suspension, don't they? Somebody get sent off in
Yeah,
the Kilmarnock
Brooklyn, the
game.
centre back, got sent off, so there's a likelihood that Gowser will come in.
Right, okay. So I it's one of those things that it's a pure cliched thing, but we lost at Kilmarnock because we didn't win the battle, and we've been good at that all season long.
Hmm.
We've been good at competing, uh, and you kind of felt that the Kilmarnock game was just one game too far for the guys that had been sort of managing to hobble on from one game to the next, without their talisman, without Devlin in there as a bit of protection, without Shankland up there to hold the ball up. So yeah, you'll be looking at you got to go win the battle. They'll try and make it a battle. They'll try and make it difficult for us, and then they'll also try and look to turn us and get in behind us.
You're listening to Scarves Around the Funnel, sponsored by Forrest Hepburn and McDonald Signs. The Hearts support will be there in huge numbers, over 7,000. I was speaking to Joel this week on Hearts Standard. He reckons Hearts have sold out every away game this season. If that's wrong, let us know. And we went back to probably Kilmarnock towards the tail end of last season for the last time Hearts didn't sell out an away allocation. It's incredible support, whether it's at Tynecastle and the banners and everything that you and your boys and girls that help you have been involved in. How big a part do Hearts fans have to play now? Because away atmospheres always just seem that little bit better if they've got something to shout about, because they didn't at Kelly recently
Yep.
and they haven't had it at St Mirren. But for most of the time, it's like an extra man. And I say behind the goals, it's behind both goals and opposite the main stand this weekend.
Yeah, I think probably Living they didn't get the full three stands at Livingston when Kizarida scored the winner, so I don't know if we'd sold maybe we sold the allocation they gave us out, but
Yeah.
again, huge numbers. There'll be a display before the game. There's talks of still maybe welcoming the team bus. Again, it's Easter Sunday, so families and stuff might be out and doing stuff, and the team won't well arrive at Livingston maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours before the game. So uh, anybody that's interested in that, just keep an eye out on socials. We will post whether or not we're going to do a welcome the team to Livingston. But there's a display, and you're right that this is the thing that well, why we've been harping on about it is that we know as we get closer and closer to the end of the season, the difference it makes. Celtic and Rangers, although Rangers haven't done it in a while, they're well versed in what it takes to win titles. They understand the anxiety, the nervousness. They understand the importance of 1-0s. They understand the importance of making it as hostile as possible for the team that you're playing against, but also backing the boys to get them over the line. And it's something that we'll have to learn because we've never been in this position before. But I think that away from home, especially, I think that the Aberdeen game, I'm not going to put it on the Heart song before the game, but that felt like a unifying moment of
Yeah.
like the flick of the switch to be like, right, cool, we understand what we're doing here. And then, like I said, the Dundee game following, you've got 500-600 people outside the Wheatfield welcoming the players in. So the fans will be class on Sunday. And if you can't walk out to an away game and see three stands filled with your own fans and feed off it and understand the importance of that, then, again, the players will have to learn how to do that too, because it will be a huge boost for them to have that many Hearts fans there.
I'm just trying to find out the capacity at Fir Park in the away end. I think it's 4,500. Hibs is just short of 4,000. Livingston's more than 7,000. Hearts will be backed by all of those supporters. Celtic obviously is different. There's not many, but we've got four away games left, and we're going to have at least 4,000 in each of them. Apart from the Celtic game. And just when you think about it, Liam, and I know your involvement in organising and everything like that, when you go away from home as well, supporters' buses can get tickets for everybody on the bus for most games, and you can sit beside your pals. It's not like Tynecastle where you've got one or two that you're friends with and you make friends with. You've basically got built-in singing sections for away supporters. How big a help is that when you've got everyone alongside who they want to be alongside? and you've got huge numbers like this.
Yeah, we talked about it at length all the time. Is that it's maybe one of those things that signifies modern football when you're at home. You've almost got a captive audience at Hearts have sold out season tickets season after season for the last at least 5, 6 seasons. We've got a waiting list of people, so it's almost like job done. We've got them in the stadium. Cool. That's was the priority. Sell out season tickets. We've done it, and now it's like you know we all been at away games where if you can get like-minded people together, it does make a huge difference. I think we've sold something like 275 tickets in the ultras section on Sunday behind the goal, and then it was advertised as the sections next to that were the singing sections as well. They sold it first, so you're looking at essentially the full south stand behind the goal. It's going to be a singing section. It's going to have flags, it's going to have a display. We get right behind the team, and you're looking at that as if this becomes the norm for Hearts as we get bigger and more into the Tony Bloom dream and we start to compete on more than one front, etc., Tynecastle becomes a tool in the arsenal. And if we do
Sure.
it properly and start looking at it properly and saying how like Derek McInnes has spoke at length, he wants it partisan at Tynecastle. He wants teams that we play. He says I got European towns and cities, and where you get a mile radius of the stadium that you're about to play in, you know that you're playing that team.
Yeah.
So he's been big on let's get the council involved. Why are you in Edinburgh? Why are we here? And you don't know that Tynecastle's round that corner beside that church. Turn right, there's a football stadium there. So he wants it loud and proud and in your face. And I think Hearts have got a duty to look at how do we make that happen. And I don't want to keep going on about it because I know that I am the voice for this. I do constantly talk about it, and I understand that there are thousands of Hearts fans that just enjoy going to football. They don't go to stand and sing and have a drum and flags not. So I get that, but there is easily 3,500 Hearts fans that would stand in a stand behind the goal at Tynecastle and drum and sing and jump up and down and get behind the team. So I think that these away games just highlight and signify the appetite for that at the club. And Sunday will be absolutely bouncing. If we get a performance on Sunday as well, it'll be probably one of the best away days of the season, given the numbers and what's at stake as well.
Kudos to Hearts, who launched their What It Means campaign today for season tickets. Prices have been kept down over recent years. There's only a 7% increase, which is explained if you go on the Hearts website. There might be one or two people that have to move because the press box, which I did understand because I know why they did it. A former employee who likes to tell everybody that he used to work at Tottenham Hotspur when he was involved in the helping construct the main stand as to what goes where, thought, oh, let's put the press right above the tunnel, forgetting that Scottish weather doesn't help. So the press box is going to move to upper section Q, I think it is. So there'll be one or two movements of fans going around next season. You might get in touch with the club, or the club might get in touch with you regarding that. But the whole What It Means campaign, Attendance FC, Homer and Barts, Gary Locke doing the voiceover, there's a lot of thought that's gone into that. And hopefully, and I say that pretty confidently, it'll be another sold out campaign, which is money in the coffers that can help the football club get even bigger. What did you make of the campaign when it was launched earlier?
Yeah, like I said, I think that like if anybody is still needing evidence that Hearts fans step up when they need to step up, I don't know where you've been for the last 15 years. I don't know what more we need to do. Uh, we'll sell out. It's good. I like that the club are open about they were the last few seasons as well about European competitions and the cost of the advertising boards, the digital advertising boards above the concourse entrances, they're all mandatory things if you want to play in European competitions for the branding, for all that. So you have to have all of that stuff, the screens in the concourse, etc. as well. They're all things that not that we didn't or wouldn't have put them in for bog standard Premier League games, but for Europe, they're all the requirements that you need, and obviously the movement of the press box for weather, but also to make sure that we house enough of the media when it comes to European competition. I like that the club vocalise that, let the fans know, so that that's 7% increase in the price. People maybe say, well, that's too much or thereabouts. But the, we are still a club that's not awash with millions and millions of pounds. And if we want to play on the biggest stages and we want to be involved in the biggest competitions, there does come a cost with it. Now, hopefully, if we can be successful in Europe, those costs cover themselves pretty soon, or pretty much when you qualify, etc. But I do like that they're transparent about some of the crazy rules that UEFA have about what your stadium has to have and what needs to be implemented. So campaigns class always is. We got a good media team at Hearts. They're always on the
Yeah, they're
button.
very good.
Yeah, they read the room well, and that's because of Hearts fans, right? We're at Tynecastle tonight to finalise some stuff for the games and the last games of the season, displays and the likes. And Hearts are coming. Hearts are going to be involved in it. Give a bit of a behind the scenes look as to what happens. I know right currently on the BBC Scotland, there's been some documentary stuff following ultras and the likes. We declined to be involved in it just for some of the storylines and narratives that go along with the ultras, etc. But it's good that Hearts are coming to see what it takes. Because again, so if we have a display for Livingston, and thanks to Livingston for being open to allowing us to have the display, it's been 3 weeks, 4 weeks in the making. We should have a display for Motherwell as well, which again is like 6, 7 weeks in the making. You're talking 6, 7, £8,000 in materials and it's all self-funded. The group fundraise and do all that themselves. So there's a lot of time and effort and money that goes into it. And it's good that Hearts get it. They understand that there's an appetite for young guys coming through, young guys and girls that want to be part of something, and they will gravitate towards it. So Hearts have always been really good at being involved in that. So yeah, the campaign's class.
Yeah, and on behalf of all the other Hearts fans, thank you for all your efforts and everyone that you work with and that's on behalf of the players and the management staff and the football club as well, because it really is something to behold, and it makes it feel like this is a special moment for the football club and not just something that we're going to sit back in a couple of months and go, I wish we'd done that, or I wish we had the chance to do that, or whatever. That's too late. It's been done right now, and it's very much appreciated. Just before we go, you spoke there about tweaking things for European games. Today's the 20th anniversary of Sir Paul Hartley's hat-trick against Hibernian. It was only 2 or 3 years before that I went to Murrayfield as a guest of Chris Robinson because that was going to be our new stadium. Because Tynecastle was not UEFA compliant and was unable to host European games. Wrong. It is. It will continue to be. And if you have to move your seat because of Champions League games at Tynecastle, yeah, that's not a
Yeah.
bad place to be
So
22 years on.
it's a good moan, isn't it? It's a good moan to have.
Indeed. Thank you for joining me. You're not allowed to leave until, well, one, we got a prediction, and two, I want to see you on guitar for It's Just the Way, Stay Young, Stay Free, and Sleeping Dogs by the Begbies, and Arfield can come and join you. Give me a prediction for Sunday. Scott Arfield and Ryan McGowan FC versus Hearts.
But everybody that knows me is
You
1-1.
don't pick a Hearts one.
Can't I can't do it. I can't do it. So I've sorted everything that was wrong before. My dad wasn't at Kelly. My dad wasn't at Easter Road. So he's coming. So we'll be fine. I've fixed every superstition that we can. So we should be sound. It's just up to the players to win now.
Why is it always 1-1? Did I not remember you saying 2-2 earlier this
It,
season for certain
I
games?
and then we got beat. So
Back to one.
back to one.
Give me
Back
a
to
goal
1-1.
scorer. Give me a goal
Frankland.
scorer.
Shankland
Shankland.
and Scotty with the equaliser.
No. Then Barry Mackay own goal off Ryan McGowan as Hearts win 2-1
Mate,
again
if Barry Mackay
in the
scores, he's
last.
coming straight for me, isn't he? If Barry Mackay scores, he's coming straight for me
You've
for
made
the
that
four.
perfectly clear, and this is my story. He's not your favourite. I'm going to go Shankland and 2-0 for Hearts. I've been predicting 1-0 because that's most of the games have been, but I'm hoping that this can be a little bit more comfortable. Really looking forward to this on Sunday. Can't wait to see what 7,000 plus Hearts fans looks like on Hearts TV. If you're going to the game, I know you are, and your pals and your dad's going, enjoy it. Sing as loud as you can. We've only got 7 more opportunities to make ourselves heard to the team on the park to try and get them over the finish line. It doesn't matter what the league table looks like on Sunday morning, it's what it looks like on Sunday evening. And fingers crossed that Heart of Midlothian, as they are right now, will still be at least 3 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership by that stage, with only 6 games to go. History beckons. Go and make it happen. Bye for now.